Play with something safe, man. Don't play with me.
What's up, everybody? I hope everyone's doing well. Still recovering, as y'all know from my last video, but doing okay. And in between, the problems, I'm going to try to record more and more. And today, thanks to members wanting, more street character based or basically non-overpowered characters, they want videos on those types. We're going to do the first in a series today called the Definitive Series, where I make a video on a character that basically covers everything important about them, from lore to powers themselves. And the first character we're doing that on today is Cyclops from X-Men Marvel Comics. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. First thing we're going to go over when talking about Cyclops is probably the most important part of his character, which is the respect he gets as a leader. Now, Cyclops typically is associated with being the leader of the X-Men, one of the most famous teams in fiction, honestly, and there's a good reason for that. Now, in Power of X issue 2, when faced with the potential end of all mutant kind at the hand of humanity's greatest evil, both Professor X and Magneto turn to Cyclops, and only Cyclops, to lead them. In House of X issue 3, Scott is said to be the founder of the nation that would be the home for the mutants in the future. Blood Ties events, Cyclops actually leads both the Avengers and the X-Men in a mission to save innocents during a mutant civil war. In the Exodus event, Cyclops' planning led to the defeat of the Dark Avengers, who were stacked with heroes and villains like Miss Marvel, Iron Patriot, Sentry, Venom, and others. Avengers vs. X-Men issue 2, Cyclops is concussed during a fight with the Avengers and still manages to outsmart the Avengers through a concussion. Death of X issue 4, while many believed Cyclops died to Black Bolt, it was revealed he was killed by Mpox while investigating the Terrigen bomb. However, Cyclops is more than flesh. He is an idea, and ideas never die. This was stated by Emma Frost. Inhumans vs. X-Men issue 1, Beast states Cyclops fought harder for mutants than anyone ever. Uncanny X-Men issue 12, Magneto accepts that Scott is the leader of the group. Astonishing X-Men 2004 issue 23, many leaders in Marvel Comics don't believe in killing. However, Cyclops often turns to it. He doesn't shy away from doing what he needs to be done, and in many stories, he sacrifices his team for the greater good if need be, and he won't hesitate to kill either. This makes him one of the most dangerous leaders, but also one of the most efficient. In the X-Men Schism event, a new form of Sentinel has emerged and is tearing through the coastline, and Scott's last option is to muster up the younger X-Men, who are essentially kids, to defeat this thing. Wolverine disagrees and threatens to blow the kids up, forcing them to seemingly evacuate, and Scott, losing his patience, fights Wolverine to disarm him even after wasting a massive amount of energy trying to take out the Sentinel. X-Men Schism event as well, Scott, while fighting Wolverine, still prioritizes the Sentinel while trying to disarm the bomb Wolverine has. In the end, the kids return as Scott originally planned to have them fight, and he disarmed Wolverine in the process. Considering how low on energy Scott was and how much he had to focus on during this fight, it is actually extremely impressive for a leader. Wolverine 2010 issue 8, Scott shows Wolverine mercy when he was brought down to finish Logan after Logan's healing factor was wearing thin. Scott decided Wolverine was no longer out of control and let him live, showing a maturity that is often needed in a leadership role. And finally, in Fear Itself event, it was due to Cyclops' planning that Cyttorak stripped Juggernaut of his power and allowed for the X-Men to defeat Worthy. Juggernaut, one of the coolest characters ever. Now, we are going to go over the biggest section, which is feats and statements from over the years. So, Civil War X-Men. It is stated Cyclops is too scared to use his full power and has only used a fraction of it. In Civil War X-Men, Cyclops, controlled by another mutant, exerts full power onto Bishop, and Bishop starts to feel pain. unable to contain the amount of energy being poured into him by Scott. In X-Men 1991 issue 9, Cyclops knocked a possessed Ghost Rider back with his beams. In Uncanny X-Men 1963, while most are familiar with the Avengers vs. X-Men event involving Scott Summers serving as a host of the Phoenix Force, we can actually look back as far as 1963's run to see he has hosted the Phoenix Force before, and this time, a physical form of Jean as the Phoenix rises from his body and knocks him out. We later come to realize that this was a mutant impersonating the Phoenix Force and they had Jean captured. Uncanny X-Men 63, Scott saw Oblivion as an astral projection and returned back to the real world. His essence returned to his actual physical self. In Uncanny X-Men 1963, Scott is believed to be a villain in disguise and the X-Men are trying to take him out, and he states he felt Colossus isn't holding back. He then proceeds to outmuscle and toss Colossus and run through the X-Men team, completely outskilling them. In Uncanny X-Men 1963, Scott doesn't view Colossus as a threat before one-shotting Wolverine and running away. Uncanny X-Men 1963, he was able to dodge Storm's lightning bolt and hits her with his optic blast despite such the distance between them. In X-Men Fantastic Four issue 2, Cyclops sends Thing flying with a barrage of blasts, which is very impressive because Thing is the GOAT. In Avengers vs. X-Men issue 5, Cyclops is seen fighting both Wolverine and Captain America off until his plan for the Phoenix Force to come for Hope is realized. Avengers vs. X-Men issue 5, Cyclops now holds a fragment of the Phoenix Force and with it blows away the Avengers casually. Avengers vs. X-Men issue 6, he stopped Mjolnir with a single finger. In Avengers, obviously guys, this is Phoenix Force Cyclops. I'm just going over everything he's ever done. In case someone gets confused and thinks this is base Cyclops doing this. Avengers vs. X-Men issue 10, Cyclops defeats Wolverine, Thor, and Iron Man in a predicted future reviewed by Scarlet Witch. In Avengers vs. X-Men issue 11, Cyclops defeats and kills Charles Xavier. Same issue, Cyclops is burning up emotionally after killing Charles so much that Wolverine disintegrates from trying to approach him, and Captain America says it's too late. In issue 12, after losing control to the Phoenix Force, Scott throttles the Avengers and their allied forces. In the end, he pushes the control the Phoenix Force has over him far enough to give the heroes a moment to take him down. This is actually very impressive because he had to resist the force and the power of the Phoenix Force. In all new X-Men issue 24, a young Cyclops staggers and then knocks back Gladiator with his optic blast. Avenger A+X issue 13, Cyclops is able to knock Captain America down during this fight after countering his hip toss. Tanks a hit from Cap's shield and knocks Cap off balance with his optic blast. This fight is interrupted by the ship's gravity being thrown off, but it's still very impressive from Cyclops. In issue 18, he one-shots a Doombot. In a Secrets War 2 event, God Doom with the power of the entire Beyonder race is struck by Phoenix Force Cyclops and is seemingly in a lot of discomfort. This is one of, if not the only time he seems this shocked and uncomfortable or in pain. Scott later dies to Doom, who snaps his neck. This is very important and very impressive because Phoenix Force Cyclops essentially did the best against this version of Doom, which is very impressive. Uncanny X-Men issue 6, Cyclops, enraged and out of patience, knocks back Dormammu, trying to save Illyana, and Dormammu actually screams in pain, which is an amazing outlier. X-Men Forever Giant Size 2010, Cyclops staggered Gladiator with a double fist uppercut. X-Men Forever 2 issue 1, Cyclops knocked Mjolnir from Thor with his optic blast. At this point, despite what should be a mismatch, a child in the presence of this battle seemed to think Cyclops could actually beat Thor at the time, and he even knocked back Thor with a blast. X-Men Forever 2009, Cyclops is caught off guard by a mutant with the ability to cause other mutants to go haywire. And while being forced to blast Jean, Wolverine said if it wasn't for his adamantium, he would have been torn in half. Jean Grey also says it took all her strength just to hold the blast off. In Uncanny X-Men 1963, issue 124, Scott is stated to have developed the ability to know where targets are in a room without it barely taking a conscious thought. He also knows the trajectory needed to land his shots easily. This is important because it's secondly a basic second mutant ability that makes him that much more dangerous in combat. In Uncanny X-Men 1963, issue 144, Scott encounters the embodiment of evil, Despair, and overcomes his fears to fight against the demon, even restraining it and at one point helping in order for Man-Thing to take it out. Scott states in Uncanny X-Men 63, issue 170, that his beams can casually punch holes through mountains. In the Marvel Encyclopedia, the original version of it, it states he draws his power from the sun, which not many people knew that. In the updated encyclopedia, it is stated he has the power to open a dimension in front of his eyes with the energy he emits from them. In the Venom X-Men series, Teen Cyclops is taken over by a symbiote, but he maintains control, and while being able to now summon optic blasts from anywhere on his body, he can also make hard constructs of the energy. This is also one of the just most physically coolest looking Cyclops versions ever. In Astonishing X-Men 2004 issue 1, he one-shot Wolverine straight out of bed when Wolverine surprised him. In Astonishing X-Men 2004 issue 8, Wolverine sees Cyclops putting in work and understands why Cyclops is the true leader. In Astonishing X-Men 2004 issue 18, the entire X-Men facility is mind-hacked by Emma and her team of villains, but Scott realizes this and shuts them down by revealing the truth to the rest of the mutants, which is a very good resistance feat. In Astonishing X-Men 2004 issue 23, Scott was able to blast through a room designed to keep the likes of even Colossus out, who has gone against the likes of Hulk and Thing before. Astonishing X-Men 2004 issue 23, Wolverine is yet again shocked that Cyclops packs such a punch and refers to it as unfair for the rest of the world, comparing his raw power to the likes of a nuke whenever he lets off a blast. Astonishing X-Men 2004 issue 37, Cyclops knocks over a massive dragon that appears to be Fin Fang Foom. In issue 44, Scott spars an alternate universe version of Storm and at one point even blocks her lightning. In Astonishing X-Men 2004 issue 45, Scott encounters a unique version of Wolverine in another universe, whose adamantine can nullify his optic blast completely. Despite this, Scott threatens to put him down, and this is what causes Wolverine to calm down. So clearly, even with the power nullification, Scott is still capable of putting him down. Search for Cyclops Book 4. Cyclops momentarily takes control of the body he shares with Apocalypse and begs for Cable to end it. Overpowering Apocalypse physically or mentally, even momentarily, is a massive feat, and Cyclops pulled it off. In X-Men 1991 issue 97, in the very famous moment for X-Men fans, the energy released from Scott's eyes as his mutant ability generates enough power to repair a rift made by Cable and Apocalypse force field during his celestial transcendence using Nathan Gray. In Uncanny X-Men 1963 issue 127, Cyclops instigates a fight to test the team, although they are at the time were enraged by what he did, fully unaware of what he was doing was just a test. He then ends up casually toying with Wolverine and the team by himself. Finally, X-Men Battle of the Atom event, a younger version of Cyclops drops Wolverine, and Wolverine struggles to get back up to his feet. There's this weird idea that like Wolverine holds a consistent edge over Cyclops. It's actually not historically true. Cyclops tends to outsmart him, outplay him, and beat him. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. If you like Cyclops, let me know. If I told you about some things you didn't know about him, let me know as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be looking for matchups for Cyclops in the future, as well as Odin and versus Darkseid will drop soon. Anyways, guys, it's been your favorite villain. Thank you for watching, and I will see y'all later. Peace.